Pierre Davis, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, man, how you doing today, bro?
Man, I'm good, dude. So you're with Euphoria Eats. You have this amazing product that I've tasted. It's got some CBD, some cannabis, some hemp, all going on. It's with some hot sauce and barbecue sauce, man.
Oh yeah, man. It's a dream come true actually, because it all started out as a quote unquote pipe dream. You know, we was in college, man. How are we gonna make our first $1 million? How are we gonna do this? We didn't have no idea how we were gonna do anything. And so my buddy was like, man, after the cannabis market is open, let's go into that. I'm like, well, how? You know, you don't know all the different nuances and the different lanes in which you have in the cannabis community, or how you're gonna get into it. So it just kind of happened organically, man. I had a buddy of mine, his niece has epilepsy. So I didn't know nothing about a CBD oil, hemp oil, none of that kind of stuff. I'd be like, man, look, how can I get her to take this without having all the yuckiness and all of the bitterness and everything? I said, well, man, you know, I'm catering, so I have some extra sauce. How about I mix some of this stuff up and see how it's going to go? That's honestly how we got started. Like, that's exactly how we got started. So I sent him 36 bottles in mason jars out to Sacramento, California. Didn't have a clue what was going to happen. So he goes out to the show. He said, man, you're going to be mad at me. I said, well, for what? I mean, you know, did they break? If so, I can send you some more. He's like, no, man, I sold them. I said, sold them? I didn't send them to you to sell. They're for your damn niece, you know? And so, anywho, long story short, I fly out to California, me and my partner. We go all the way out to California. I'm like, dude, we can really do something out here. We can make some money. Let's just see how it's going to go. It could just be just a fun trip to go back home with all of our goodies and stuff. Yeah. And just have at it. So we get out there. We have a line of people, bro. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life, because these aren't your everyday recreational users. These are people who need this stuff to get through everyday life. You know, the cancer patients, the terminally ill people, the HIV people, and everything else. You know, they really need this stuff, man, and it's helping them because the opioids are blocking their valves, and they cannot go to the bathroom and function how we are now. You know, because if you're all high and doped up, you don't really have any cognitive ability to do nothing other than I feel good. But with this stuff here, you actually can function, and nobody ever know because it's a condiment. Yeah, man, it's crazy too, because you created something, and not only that, but it's you made it to where anyone can consume it, right? Yes. I mean, anyone that enjoys these type of condiments on something, you know, I mean, I eat hot sauce on everything. Yeah, but see, the thing about it is, this is just the tip of the iceberg. These are our first 3 of 13. Right. We have everything you can think of: spicy ketchup, honey mustard, blue cheese, ranch, Thousand Island, blah, blah, blah. We also have a dry season, kind of like Tony Chachere's in a sense, but with our own little flavor to it. Okay. And we have 2 TV dinners that'll be out next year. Really? Yeah, man. That's crazy. It's going to be awesome. Infused with CBD. Like, who would ever think you can infuse a microwavable dinner, let's just say red beans and rice. Yeah. Put that in the microwave, you're going to get your daily dose of your CBD. Yeah. Just by eating it. You can't taste nothing. That, dude, it's so crazy, like, being involved with this industry now. Like, I've been using CBD now for about a year and a half. I also use cannabis on occasion recreationally, you know. Yeah, man. Yeah. You know, not like, I'm not blazing up every day or anything, just to be honest. But the CBD thing I'm using a lot, and I have been using it a lot for, you know, anti-inflammatory purposes. Yes. You know, helping me sleep better at night. That's where I really initially got it from, because I was getting to where I wasn't sleeping good at night, and I wasn't getting, like, I was stressed on my body all day long. I was working out twice a day, working 12 hours a day, then couldn't sleep good. My sleep was shit. So I started trying CBD, and man, best sleep I ever had, and I don't have like the grogginess too. And it helps you recover too after a good workout. Exactly. And it's helping all these people, like you said. That's amazing that this started out with, you know, for that. Yeah, man. Yeah. Because all the studies that shown that, you know, using cannabis to treat epilepsy and chronic pain and all these things is just and getting people off opioids. Yes, that's the main thing, because I think about back in the early 90s, early 2000s, if you had a cut on your arm, they give you what? Pills. Yeah. Oh, here's a 10 milligrams, a Percocet. Here's 80 of them. Yeah. Like, what? I only have a scratch on my arm. But so they don't know that they're addicting people to this stuff. So you become dependent on having this feeling every day, all day. And when you don't have a feeling, you have withdrawals. Yep. Well, with cannabis and with the hemp and with especially like CBD, there's no hook. You never get hooked. You never overdose from it. It's just a beautiful thing. And I'm happy that God, He put this on my shoulders and said, here's the idea. like out of all the other ideas and failed business ventures I've had,
Yeah.
this one has actually stuck to the wall. So
I know how that goes, man. Well, tell me. Well, let's get into the dirt about you, man. So,
come on, man.
Where you from? How'd you come up before you got into this? Let's hear about it, man.
A very humble beginnings. I grew up in Houston, Texas,
Okay.
Fifth Ward, one of the roughest neighborhoods in the inner city. I grew up, I raised myself. Let's be honest with you, because you don't have a lot of oversight when your parents are trying to make ends meet. So
Yeah.
you and your older brothers and your cousin, you don't know what to do. So I come up in Houston, Texas. Had a lot of fun there, but I had to get out because you can get swallowed and chewed up and spit out. So I just happened to be good at sports. So I got good at sports. I moved to Louisiana when I was about 15, 16-ish, and I went to college at Louisiana Tech. So from there, I got my master's degree, and I had to go and find myself because I too was hooked on opioids.
Okay.
So
what were you taking at the time, if you don't mind sharing?
No. When I got out of the military, I had a lot of ailments, PTSD, anxiety disorders, and other ailments that I had with my knee, my shoulder, everything else. So I was hooked, and I didn't know it, man. And the reason I knew that I was hooked because when I didn't have it, I hated the world.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to go nowhere without. I didn't know what it was. I just was mad, angry, upset. So I went out of town or something like that happened, and I just didn't have them for like a month. And I said, man, I don't want no more of that because it made me itch. It made me groggy. It made me angry. It made me want to be confrontational, And PTSD, you're very confrontational. So the two really don't add up together. But a lot of people add them up together, and they live everyday life. So from there, it was just like, okay, have to do something a little bit better. So I discovered cannabis, and I'm like, well, I don't want to smoke. I'm just because as an athlete, they say don't smoke drugs. The egg and the hot frying pan.
Yeah,
like that kind of thing comes up in my head.
Well, not only that too. If you say like you're growing up in the inner city, you've seen how that may have been attributed to other
Crack.
crime and stuff like that. Crack and everything. Yeah, right, right.
And things of that nature. So I just never wanted to be a dopehead, quote unquote. I wanted to just try to do the right thing and get the hell out of there and make something of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So with that came, a maturity and actually having an open mind to cannabis. Mm-hmm. Because here in the South we have a stigma.
Yeah,
drugs are bad.
Yeah,
right. But yet I can give you a prescription one, and Grandma has
hers.
It's
fine. Yeah,
Papa has his. Mm-hmm. Everybody has everything. But don't do this one right here. This one is bad, but it's actually all natural.
It's the only one that comes from the damn earth.
You put water on it and it grows. It's not in the damn lab. It's not anywhere else. And so, anywho, it just was. It was just a rude awakening to what's best for me. So I consume CBD and hemp. I don't do nothing else because I can't.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that I don't want to. It's just the fact that, hey, I don't want to be high.
Right.
I just want the full benefits of the cannabis plant as a whole. Mm-hmm. And so that helps me out a whole lot. So I can't say nothing about the next person, but that's what does it for me. Mm-hmm. So that was the reason why I just said, I got to go with this. I got to go full money with this. I got to go all the way. And I have to make something out of this because it's going to help so many people.
Well, that's interesting too, because you said you were catering, you barbecuing stuff for people. Mm-hmm. I do that too. I love doing it. I don't do it as a business. I just do it because I enjoy doing it.
Right.
But what made you decide to provide your friend with this and mix it in? What knowledge did you have? What information did you
Honestly, I was ignorant, bro. I didn't have no knowledge of what the hell I was putting in there.
Okay.
He was like, man, my niece just has this problem. She has epilepsy. She has other issues. Mm-hmm. And the doctors were giving her just the oil.
Okay.
In a pill form,
Okay.
And so I said, well, can you get it to me? He's like, in a jar and let me play with it.
Okay.
So I remember I was doing I had just did the Gentleman's Cook-Off here in Shreveport, and I actually won the competition.
Okay.
And I had a lot of extra sauce. I had like a 5-gallon bucket of it. I said, well, let me go play with it in the kitchen. Play with it. I got all the nuttiness out of it, all the bitterness out of it. And kind of just happened, bro. It just blossomed. And so I Googled. I said, I wonder if anybody else doing this. So I Google search. I said, nobody's doing this? That was because everybody in the cannabis industry, they're thinking about the dollars. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm the kind of guy that if I see a penny on the ground, I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah.
So I don't care nothing about the dollars. If I get all these pennies, they're going to equate to dollars.
Of course.
Yeah. And so, and that was just kind of was the stigma of it. And that's how we just roll with it, man. And now it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I mean, this industry is taking off. We were talking about it briefly here before we started. how I met you was this first Cajun Cannabis conference we've ever had here in North Louisiana, and for the state, which is just an honor to be a part of. And thank you guys for spearheading that thing.
Yes.
Thanks to you and Catherine Thomas and everyone else who was involved in that thing. It's been amazing to be a part of this.
Right.
Just from the outside looking in. Everything that's happening with this industry, not just here in the state, because we're just now, I believe, about to approve flower for medical, and we're inching towards the gate there to open everything up for all uses, basically. Just decriminalize it down to basically a lot less than what it has been for the past 100 years here. But being a part of it, and not just here but on a whole, what is happening, and you have a product that what's the distribution laws here? You can get it out everywhere? I mean, how does that work?
No, in fact, I cannot operate out of the state of Louisiana.
You can't operate, but people can still purchase it and be
online.
Okay.
Which is crazy, right? So I have to have an office in Arkansas. I have an office in Texas, right?
Right.
So out of each one of these offices, I go, I make my sauce, and I ship it out. Perfectly legal there. Okay. I just happen to live here, so I have to go and commute an hour and a half just to go make a batch and send the batch off to all my loyal customers and things of that nature. So it's kind of like we're just behind the 8 ball slightly.
Yeah.
But we're going to get there eventually. But it hurts because I pay my taxes here.
Right.
I lay my head here, and my family's here. So why can't I have my business here? So imagine all those tax dollars coming into Shreveport. Our roads aren't the best.
Yeah.
Highways aren't the best. Infrastructure is not the best. How do you fix those? Through taxation in some sense. So it's just my whole thing about it. I'm like, I know I can help my local economy. I know I can do good things for the state. I know I can do good things for the city. It's just a bright spot, actually, and not all the black eyes, but actually a bright spot. So I'm just hoping that they will finally come around and let me in the door and see what Euphoria Eats has to offer. Yeah,
it's exciting too. So this is just basically integrating CBD, right?
Yes, okay. I have 3 different versions. I have a hemp version, have a CBD version, and I have a THC version.
Can you tell me the difference between each one of them?
Okay, yeah. So hemp.
Yeah.
Hemp is just like the basic, nothing's in there, no CBD, no nothing. Because in CBD you have to have 0.03% or less of THC. That would means it's CBD. Okay? Anything over that is considered THC. So with hemp has no CBD in it whatsoever. So you have the hemp version, which is nothing. You're just gonna get all the good benefits and properties of the cannabis plant in terms of inflammation and things of that nature.
Okay.
And in CBD, you get a little bit more of that with a little hint of THC, but not enough to make your head piss hot.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But then with the one that has the THC in it, that's where it gets a little hairy. Because as we all know, we've all had a bad high experience.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want to have too much, bro. When you have too much, you're like, oh, my God, I don't want that again.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you over the toilet in college hollering Earl.
Yeah.
God, I'll never drink again. You just get me out of this one, So it's kind of the same thing, but I can only sell the ones that are legal within the states.
Right.
Like in D.C., I can go up there and make a batch and sell it within D.C. Because it's legal with THC there. I can't do that in Louisiana. I'd be underneath the jail, man.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to go there.
No.
So, and that's why I go outside here. I go to Arkansas and I go to Texas and I make my hemp and my CBD versions. And so when I fly other places, I make their versions in which that they want, and I just go from there.
Okay. Well, what have you seen most effective out of each batch? I'm sure each one, like you just said, each one has its benefits. But I guess what's your most popular product across the board right now? For someone who, answer me this, because some people may, I have a broad range of listeners from all over the United States and abroad from there.
Right.
Some people may be experienced with THC. They may be experienced with CBD. Some people may have no clue what to do. So if you're someone who's wanting to consume something for any of its benefits and properties, what would be your suggestion to start with?
I would say go with the CBD route.
Okay.
And the reason I say that because it can't hurt you. You can't overdose. And it's only going to give you that feeling of, let's say, ibuprofen. When you have a headache, you go, pop ibuprofen, hour later you feel great, you feel fine. That's what CBD does. It doesn't give you a high. It just helps whatever you have going on. If you need to go to sleep, try CBD. It'll put you to sleep. It'll ease your mind. It will calm you down. You have inflammation after a hard workout or hard days at work or whatever. It's going to help you. Now, with the hemp version, it's the same thing, but just not as much as it is in CBD.
Okay.
So, I would start with the CBD version. but you have to get hairy there because you have hemp, you have like CBD, and they both can be interchangeable.
Okay.
Depending on the state. So just do your homework on it first.
Okay.
And know which one that you want, but go with the CBD one first.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I think CBD pretty much at this point, I don't know the legalities of it like you do probably, but it's pretty much accepted almost everywhere at this point now.
Yes, I can go and buy a gummy up the street, but I can't go buy my product.
It's ridiculous. What's up with that?
Well, let me explain this right to you. So I can eat a gummy, right? You have to eat it, right?
Yeah.
What do you do with a condiment? You eat it, right? What's the difference?
No clue. You tell me.
There's no difference. There's exactly no difference. But you can go and sell a gummy or a drop all day long, but I cannot sell a condiment.
And that's just bullshit politics, man.
Yeah, you already know it, brother.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't argue with law. Just obey them, and I do what I can do to properly get around them the legal way. So I mean, it's no big deal. I just go outside of the state. I do my business. I come back home here. I go to sleep. I wake back up again, and I fly back out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard, but it's honest.
Hey, no, I mean, and eventually it's going to pay off. Things are coming around.
Yes, sir.
Well, back to we were talking about PTSD and opioid addiction, and what hemp and CBD's done for you, and what other people's experience with the cannabis, using it however dose they do it. I've heard and seen a lot where so many people, and it's Veterans Day today, so what a great honor to have a veteran in the house right now. But so many people who have served deal with this PTSD issue, and they're prescribed opioids,
right? And
they get addicted to them, or maybe even paired with sometimes extreme alcoholism. So what have you seen? Maybe any patients or anything you've looked at, with treating these people with THC versus opioids. Aside from, of course, your experience too.
Right. Well, see, with my experience, I cannot lie to you, bro. Cannabis saved my life.
Yeah.
Opioids, I wasn't able to function. I could not tell you what I did within those years. I cannot write it down because I don't know. I was just in a fog, in a great fog. And I know I wasn't the best person at all. So I had to get myself out of there to see and do a self-reflection, right? So after you go and I went to go and self-reflect, I said, well, actually, cannabis is not so bad. I actually can function. I can do everything else. I have all my cognitive senses about myself, and I'm not just an angry, mean person. I'm actually somebody you can come up and talk to, other than get the hell out of my face. Yeah. So I think in terms of the veterans, how it could help them is simple. You start them out with a small dosage and you ease them up. See how they're doing. How's your home life? Have you had any arguments? Are you having outbursts? Or are you having the nightmares? Are you hearing the voices? Are you seeing things? It's things that people don't understand that PTSD does to one, and those things could be deadly, man, and detrimental. So if you just ease them on to THC, I know for a fact you'll have less opioid dependency all the way around the board. And you have some veterans who are very messed up, man. Like after we get home, we're never the same. Yeah.
What you have to deal with, not to go into specifics, but when were you? Where did you serve? And
Iraq, Iraq.
Are you
Army.
Okay.
09, 2010.
Okay.
Tikrit is actually Saddam's hometown, so it was very eventful there. Yeah. It was very eyebrows raising because you're just expecting incoming at any moment. Because when your base is next door to this big village, but all these people that are looking at you every day, you're like, man, you get anxious, you get nervous, you get scared. But the American way is to face adversity head on. Yeah. And that's what we do. And that's what we did. But we have to come back home and have to kind of declutter, get all that out of
readjust.
Here. Right. And reconfigure to everyday life in the U.S. versus me being overseas. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to die for my country.
Well, so in with veterans who are, close to your age, but not only that, think about all the veterans that are, in their 70s and 80s that serve, and that have been dealing with PTSD and being prescribed, and being dependent on misdiagnosed and being dependent, and then, extreme alcoholism and, rough home lives, not being able to find jobs because these issues, like, we could have been treating this thing a long time ago with the cannabis and, versus these, lab created drugs.
Yeah. Well, see, I chalk that up to ignorance. A lot of us, we're very ignorant. And what I mean by that is because a lot of people say they were ignorant, think something bad. No, it just means I simply don't know. Yeah. A lot of veterans don't know what the benefits are within this plant that you just putting water on.
Yeah.
And it's like if you just open them up and educate them, kind of how I would educate you out to whomever is onto this kind of stuff on the vaccine. You know, either way that you've been, I don't care. That's up to you. But if you chose to do that and you want to go and do your homework on it, you see the benefits of it.
Right.
Versus me not saying, I don't care nothing about it.
Right.
So it's the same thing. You have to educate them. Say, hey, this is what it's going to do to you. This is how it's going to make you feel. Mm-hmm. You won't hurt as much. You won't be as tired all day. You're actually going to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that, you know, we don't talk about enough, and we haven't been educated because it's something. And I've had this conversation with multiple people, and I just continue to bring it up because I have to talk about it.
Right.
Is we've been taught so long that this is a horrible thing.
Yes.
But it was okay to put these addictive drugs, like, look, Oxycontin, for example. Like, oh my God, like that epidemic. I'm watching that series now, the new series on Hulu. I didn't even know how hard it was hitting because at that time I was younger. But, you know, we've seen so many people affected by these things. And it was all big pharma. You know, it was all political. It was all pushing this stuff through the system.
It's money.
And, yeah, of course. But all the while, we've had this product around for hundreds of years and went and tried to go into production for hemp in the early 1900s, and then some billionaire or millionaire at the time come in and decided to use cotton instead. You know,
it's smart.
Yeah,
it's smart because if you own, let's just say, a cotton farm, a plantation at that time, right? It's just like you're having a lobbyist now.
Yeah.
I pay you to go and talk to this state representative or this senator to vote a certain way. Because when you vote that way, it's going to benefit me and mine, right? Instead of me saying, hey, let's do what's best for society, everybody's kind of selfish, right? Mm-hmm. So they're gonna really think about themselves and not about the whole what's better for humanity versus what's better for my back pocket. You know, and you really can't get mad at them. Well, you kind of can, but it's just like, you know, at what point does a man stop providing for his family and starts to think about the overall health of everybody?
Right.
You know, so I guess that's just
in a nutshell. No, that you raised a good point. In a nutshell, at the bottom level, you don't see it trickle down. Right. You know. And as the broad, you know, perspective comes in the people at top, they do, you know. So it's just one of those things where if you're in the nuts and bolts of it, you're not going to realize this is just an industry. I'm just doing my work. Right. But if you're over here at the top of it, and you're seeing, okay, this is harmful to people, but it's making us so much money. What do we do? Right.
Okay. So, bam, I have a great analogy for you. Right. We know that fossil fuels are causing global warming. However you look at it. It's doing some kind of effect to.
It's not good for the ozone.
Right. But we have alternative ways to power these plants and power these trucks and do everything else. But we still choose not to, right?
Because there's so much money tied and invested in these others.
It's the same thing over again.
Same thing.
It's the same wheel, but just with a different industry. So it's kind of like, well, man, like who would be that selfish? Yeah. You know, and not to poke fun at anybody or not to. Berate anybody, but you have to think about this kind of stuff. Like, what's good for us all versus what's good for me. Yeah. I have $1 billion. Why do I need any more money? I'm set for life. My family is, my grandkids are. Everybody's good, right? But they want more. Yeah, they want more. And they want your money, and they want my money, and they want to keep us poor. Yeah. But I'm not going to sit here and beat a dead horse. Because the object of it is now is to overcome all of this, be more educated about what you put into your body versus what they're just saying, eat this. No, read it. What's in it? How is it going to affect my body? How is it going to affect my liver, my heart, everything else? I mean, it's simple. Read. We have the ability to read. Open up that book, read it.
And the studies have been done. The studies have been done on the plant, the CBD, the hemp, you know, the cannabis, the pure THC. The studies have been done before these things were put into operations in these states that have approved it. So we know the benefits, we know the alternatives, we know the ins and outs at this point. All you have to do is look for that information.
Well, but they put a regulation up, right? Yeah. And the reason that they put a regulation up is to see how we're going to control this when it gets out to the masses, right? But you fail to realize those years where you don't have nobody in that market but just these few key people. They're having a monopoly of sense until it's available to me and you to open up our shops and do the exact same thing that they're doing. They'd have made their money already.
And it's interesting how it's regulated from banking. You know, how do you do all this? How does that work with you?
There's banks that actually specialize in this in the e-processing of certain goods and certain aspects of the cannabis market. And so you have to go out to these banks, fill out an application that's like 100 pages long. I swear, it's 100 pages long. And so after that, you get approved or you get denied as you happen to get approved. And from there, you got to follow strict guidelines with how to sell this, how to do this, how you can market it, how you can advertise. You can't even advertise this on Facebook or Instagram. You cannot say nothing with hemp. You can't say nothing with cannabis. And I'm like, well, but you can go and promote a gummy, but I can't just go and put a picture of this bottle and boost it. Yeah, can't do it.
No, it's very the industry I've seen on the marketing side of in my business, it's insane. It's federally illegal, so you cannot do anything as far as putting advertising dollars behind it. Well, let me ask you this.
Ask me.
You keep bringing up gummies, and I've had a horrible experience. I know some people, I know other people have too, because the problem with gummies or even like chocolates, edibles have been around forever,
right,
is that there's no way to regulate the amount in that one piece. We heard at the conference there was maybe one product they're coming out with where they can figure out how many milligrams you're getting per serving. But what we've seen, it's
impossible.
Hearsay. Yeah, it's hearsay.
It's impossible.
Well, but for you, how does it work with yours? Because I've had a 10 milligram gummy hit me like a 50 milligrams. You know what I mean? Like, so how do you control that in this?
Well, how do we control it is we have to have strict labs to come in. So every batch has to have a COA.
Okay.
A COA is a certificate of analysis. It's going to tell you what's all in this batch of, let's say, hemp isolate or CBD isolate. It's going to tell you exactly what's in there. So you got to do this long mathematical equation to see how many ounces of liquid of the sauce versus of the isolate would equate to 12 ounce of bottles with increments of 250 milligrams per bottle.
Okay.
So it's a very long math equation. So hopefully you paid attention in high school because it's so long, but it's like I finally use this stuff. It's kind of like the aha moment. I actually use algebra.
Yeah.
I actually did this and this and this, and I figured it out by myself. I didn't have to hire anybody. Yeah. I figured it out. So after you do that, you send off one bottle per batch back to the COA to make sure it's within those guidelines. So
okay.
I couldn't just go and say, "Oh yeah, I think it's It's 350.
Yeah. It just put on shit.
Yeah. You cannot do that. It has to be exactly what you say it is on that bottle, or else you're in hot water, man. You're in some big trouble.
So what do you think? So I'm eating let's say I'm eating 12. I'm eating a dozen wings.
Oh yeah. Oh.
How much sauce do I need on it to be effective?
Well, for me, I know I use like a quarter of a bottle each time. Because
Yeah.
I eat this every day.
Okay.
Like I eat it every day. I eat my honey. I just had some of my ranch earlier.
Okay.
And so I give myself a daily dosage of about 50 to 100 milligrams a day.
Okay.
And I noticed the difference with me sleeping, with me being energetic, being alert.
Yeah.
So what I would just go by that and say, well, however much that you eat ketchup, it's however much that you would need. Like it's the exact same thing.
Okay.
You're not going to taste nothing. You're not going to smell anything any different. It's going to taste like a condiment. But with our condiments, they're better than the ones you see on the shelf. Hunt's ketchup, whoever at their names are, they've had the same formulation for how many years? Since we've been around, we know
Hundreds.
how the ketchup is going to taste every single time.
Right.
Because it's the same old recipe, right? So here you go with something else with Louisiana inspired by amateur chef like myself. It's gonna taste light years ahead of them because you have more soul in it, you have more flavor in it, because you want the customer to be like, wow, like this is really good. I want to eat some more.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens. They want to eat more and more and more and more.
Well, yeah, I think that it's something that, and here's another thing, is there's always a wall up whenever they see that leaf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's now attributed to 3 different strains, basically. Well, not strains, but 3 different types of, markets. THC, CBD, and just hemp, all the same leaf.
Right. The exact same leaf.
All the same, all the same. And the problem is that people see that and immediately are scared of it as a whole, because that's just been what we've been taught for the past 50 years.
Yes.
60 years, however long it's been.
Yeah, it's kind of like you as a kid watching He-Man. Skeletor had all these dark colors.
Yeah.
So you go and connotate, well, he's the villain because he has on dark colors. Well, who's to say that? It's just a mind game. It's just, what do they call it, Pierre? It's just programming without you knowing you're being programmed to feel a certain way about a certain thing.
Of course.
So that's how it is with cannabis. The same exact thing. Like, this plant can't do nothing to you. It cannot harm you. If anything, it's going to put you to sleep, and it's going to make you hungry.
Yeah.
Other than that, who's it hurting?
And that depends on how you take it, because that's another point you brought up earlier is alertness and, well rested plus alertness. A lot of people will immediately attribute to, I got too stoned and I just got the munchies. Well, I mean, it just depends. That's just that's excessive, amounts of THC. But if you're regulating it down into a small dosage, you see the benefits of the anti-inflammatory benefits, curing, like helping with insomnia, helping with all these issues.
And see, the other issue is how we consume, or how we saw our uncles or our friends when we were kids, how they would go and get cannabis through a joint, right?
Yeah.
Okay, a joint. Did you know that you only get between 10 and 30% of the whole plant in that joint? The other had like 70. You're burning it off.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, what am I smoking this for if I'm only getting a fraction of the benefits, right? But when you're eating something, it's the polar opposite.
Yeah.
You get between 75 and 85%. Yeah. So just imagine you having this CBD, a non-smokable, ingestible, better absorption rate, better everything. You're going to feel the effects instantaneously, or maybe after your first serving. I recommend try it for 3 days and then just stop. Okay, and then tell me the difference out of your day, out of your sleep, out of everything else.
Well, this could be something too. I just think about the old folks that have the issues. They may have chronic pain, they may be taking all these medications, they may have diabetes, all these things.
Right.
And you just introduce them to something like this and just say, we're cooking with it, and just put it in there and try it out. And next thing you know, they're feeling better, moving around better because they've used something and not had to sit there and add another pill to the little Monday through Sunday, Well,
I'm not supposed to be telling you this, but Grandma, don't get mad at me. So when my grandmother's upset or just has her way, she could be upset about the stories. Somebody didn't die a certain way, how they're supposed to die. Yeah. So let me go cook up you some wings because I know that you're on edge. Yeah. I get her some wings. She's in that room sleeping, feeling good, and not crying, and I say crying as in arguing, being confrontational, etc. She's chilling. Yeah. So I know that the CBD is taking its effect on her, and she never even knows it. Yeah. But it's just those kind of things that you can do for people who don't know that they're having these problems. Yeah. And you just alleviated one of them without them even knowing it, and they just happen to get something that tastes damn good. Yeah, and I mean, if they're in it, it's another thing. It's like these are things that you can slowly introduce to someone who may be completely against ingesting something that has that leaf on it. Exactly. You know what I mean? Or saying this is a cannabis byproduct. Right. Well, this is just some sauce that has a little bit of it in it. And why don't you just try it out here first? Right. And if we need to move to something else, then we can go there. Or the smell of the weed. Yeah, you don't have that old smell. The eyes red. Oh man, I'm high, I'm stoned. It's none of that. I mean, so it's all in all, it's a better way of consuming cannabis overall. To me, it's the best way because you're going to get more bang for your buck. Who wants to buy a $100,000 house and you only see $20,000 worth of it? Right. Nobody wants. I want to enjoy my whole house. It's just like anybody else would. So this is a better way of consumption. We just have to wrap people's heads around it and introduce it to them. So after they get that one taste, they're going to be like, man, this is amazing. Well, tell me how, since we had that one conference together, you've been all over the States, but you've been up to Chicago. Yeah, man. You got some stuff coming up down in New Orleans. So what's the scene look like for you at a broad aspect, not just hyper local? Well, hyper local is pretty much dead. Right. So I have to go outside of here. I have to go to the Chicagos of the world, the New Orleans of the world. Sacramento. I was in Atlanta a month ago, so I was in Chicago last weekend for a cannabis show. Oh man, it's beautiful. When I tell you it's beautiful to see a line of people that wants your product, because they know it's going to help them. And I mean, it was kind of like an emotional highlight moment because you're like, you know, in life, everybody wants to know what's their purpose. Well, this is mine, and I can feel it because I'm helping people. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not at a 9 to 5 for 30 years and
miserable.
And get a pat on the back. You did a good job for 30 years.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually helping people with their daily life. So seeing that and seeing the cannabis industry outside of here, I have so many shows booked in Chicago that it's crazy. It's like, hey, I come cook for us. Hey, I come do a pop-up shop. Come do this, come do that. Come to this grocery store. Come to this grocery store. So it's a beautiful thing. And our business is booming. It's growing day by day, patient by patient, customer by customer. So outside of here, it's like fire ants. Dude, you got to get your hands in it. You got to get your feet in this, bro. You're going to be good at this. I'm telling you. Because there's so many people who need this avenue to pitch their product.
Yeah.
It's so many people who want to tell you their story, the benefits of cannabis, how it has helped them, how it has changed their lives. Like, this is the kind of thing that people would like because they don't have this platform out there.
Yeah.
Because everybody's after it. Oh, well, give me $8,000, I can do this for you. Well,
yeah,
no,
right.
It's going to grow itself because it's going to help people.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sharing like real information, not trying to dress something up other than what it is. Which
Exactly.
is the issue.
And charge you.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
what's the issue with marketing, man? Is something has to be dressed up a certain way, tailored fit to this certain platform. Well, with this, you guys are the pioneers in paving the way of how this is going to lay out.
Right.
And, you know, getting this real information out. That's the only way this thing has grown to what it has been, is that real information is getting out about the benefits.
It has. And like I told you earlier, I started at that one show in Sacramento 8 years ago. And I'm like, well, man, and it brought tears to my eyes to see these people who are barely getting up to your table and just saying thank you. They're crying. They're like, man, this stuff is really helping me. And you're like, no way I've done this, you know. But after you say, hey, you are doing this, you are on something, you got to keep going because this opens up other doors for the next person and the next person and the next person. And that's all that I'm trying to do is just open up doors for other people to get in this business. And it's kind of how I got into the consulting world. So, I mean, man, it's just been a great thing. And I know that this is going to be big. It's going to be huge. Well, it actually already is. Not to speak of it too much, but I mean, it's really taken off in the right way.
Well, what about, well, tell me this, man. What's your background? How'd you get into barbecuing? You said you had the sauce you was cooking, so I mean,
man,
it tastes great. I've tasted it. I'm an amateur barbecuer myself, but you know, probably not to your level at all. But I love it. I enjoy it. How did you get into it? And you know, is that something that was passion that turned into business, and now you're able to implement both? How does that work?
Pretty much. So my stepmom, and she raised me. God bless the dead. Her name was Rosemary. She was from Lafayette, Louisiana. Okay. As we know, people down south can cook their behinds off. Yeah. She taught me everything there is to know about the kitchen because I was the kid. You know, I was always under her. Okay. And she taught me how to do everything from scratch, whether it's make boudin, maybe ball rice, just everything that you can think of. She taught me. And so it's kind of like second nature because I'm like I love to cook. So in college, I would cook at the frat. Okay. Frat house, you know. Everybody like, well, hey, I let Pierre cook because he does a damn good job. I'm like, okay. So I didn't know how good that I was. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so then I started getting hired to come and grill and hired to come do this. I said, well, this could make me some little money, you know. Yeah. In college, everybody's broke. Everybody's poor. Yeah. So I'm bootstrapping it. So I'm cooking over here for the Pikes, and I'm over here doing this right here for the Alphas, you know, things of that nature right there. So it kind of just went from there. So after I moved to Shreveport, I think that was 2014-ish, I moved to Shreveport. I said, man, I need to make some extra money. So I started back catering because I did that in college. And it kind of just grew from there. I got invited to a couple steak cook-offs, a couple of rib cook-offs, and I won over 80% of them. Yeah. So I said, yeah, you can cook, son. You know, I'm not a bragger, so it's kind of like,
it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
You really can cook. So, and that's kind of how it just kind of unfolded for me, man. We just been cooking and grilling forever, man. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. I'm gonna have to invite you out to my family's farm.
Dude, I'm down anytime.
Dude, we're gonna do a whole hog.
I just did a hog a couple week before last.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Yeah. I'm gonna get you out there.
Holler at me. I'm down.
a moonshine and good times.
I'm good.
Man.
I'm good.
Okay.
Anytime like that, that's like look. If I could retire right now, that's all I could do. I would.
Bro, I mean, it's because what people don't understand is no matter what your walk of life is, we have one thing in common.
Yep.
We all have to eat.
Damn right.
So if the food is good, I can give a hell who made it.
Yeah.
I come to eat.
Well, it brings people together, man.
Yes.
You know, so,
and that's what we all need to do in America. We need to have a big barbecue.
Oh hell yeah, man.
Come have a seat and socialize, and fraternize, be amongst each other, eating, breaking bread, and that'll bridge us all back together.
Well, I mean, we have there's so many different backgrounds across the world that that every single one of them originated cooking on an open fire.
Mm-hmm.
They all have their signature way to do so. Mm-hmm. You look at like how they use the Japanese use hibachi grill. You know, you have these us here who use wood for charcoal and stuff like that. You have all these backgrounds that using fire to cook. I mean, it's all the same. It just they're different ways of doing it, different methods.
I think it's more of a manly undertaking, because if you think about life in its basic form, when it first started, let's say, however did they say in the book, we came up in caves, blah 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 blah, whatever. Well, when you think about that, the man had to provide his family with a way of heat, a way of protection, and fire can be used in either one of those three aspects. So then you get good at something to where it's now everybody's daddy. Make those hamburgers again. Yeah, daddy, cook those alligator hamburgers again. Okay, cool, baby, got them. Yeah. So now I'm making somebody happy over something that I can provide as a parent or just as a peer. Mm-hmm. So it's just one of those beautiful things. Man, cooking really can change your day.
Oh yeah, man.
Your whole day could be.
It brings everyone together. It's like that one moment whenever the plates hit the table. Oh yeah. And you look up and you're not eating yet because anyone who's cooking, they don't eat yet. They wait for everybody else to eat. Yeah. If you're a gentleman, and I'm not sure you are, I know you are. You wait and let everybody else eat, and then you'll eat after it's done. Right. And it's quiet. Man, and if it's quiet, you did something right. That's how you know, dude. That's how you know it's good. If it's quiet, everybody stops talking and they eat. That's how you know it's good. Yeah. And I pride myself in that. Man, I really love to feed people. Mm-hmm. A lot of the times when I cook, I don't even eat. I don't even want that. Yeah. Last Thanksgiving, I made a spread, man, of 25 different items. Mm-hmm. I went to McDonald's and got a hamburger. Ain't that something nasty McDonald's cardboard hamburger? But I was craving that. Yeah. I didn't want nothing that I had made because that was not for me. It was for my family. Yeah. Right. No, I feel that. I understand. I do that all the time, man. Or I'll make something and I'll just take a little bit of. Right. I make this whole spread and I'll just get just this part of it and eat that and not eat everything I cook. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. Well. So what's your preference? Smoked wood. What's your preference? I'm a hybrid guy. I like mesquite. Okay. But then I love pecan. But pecan adds a different kind of a smoky flavor to it because hickory adds its own sweetness to it. But pecan is more bitter, but it burns hotter. So you got to be careful with it because you can burn your brisket. So it's like the increments of 80% oak, 20% mesquite maybe. Or if I'm just feeling good, I might go up to Walmart and get me some apple. Yeah. But I mean, I don't have to have apple because the only way you can do apple is soak your wood in apple juice, and it's going to give it that sweetness on the bark. Yeah. It's easy stuff, man. Yeah. And you know this already. Well, I mean, like I said, I've been doing it a few years now, but I enjoy it. I like my fruit wood. Oh, yeah. But I still like the old hickory too, and blending the two together, depending on what you're cooking. More fruit wood for pork, more hickory for beef. You're not an amateur. Or chicken, You're a cook, bro, because not a lot of people know what goes with what. Right. A lot of people think, I put this on this hog. No, don't do that. Nah, man. No, you're going to mess your hog up. So, you know how to cook, son. You know how to cook. I'm working on it, man. Just keep doing it, bro. No, that's how you get good at anything. I just did Monday. We did a cookout. Man, shit, I should have hit you up and anything. I did it for the clients and stuff at the office. I did 4 pork butts. Did pork loin and did some of my whiskey chops, man. Whiskey chops? Yeah, man. That sounds good, man. I do some whiskey chops, man. So I mix the sauce up. It probably ain't as good as yours, but I mix the sauce up, and then I put a little pecan. What is it? It's pecan peach whiskey in there. Oh, mix it with the sauce. smoke the chops real quick, like flash smoke them. Not a flash, like your fire's right here, get them real close to the fire. I may be smoking everything else, but get the chops close to the fire, sear them up good, glaze them in that sauce, you know.
And let them get sticky.
Let them get sticky. And then, right before you eat it, I got my little whiskey in a spray bottle. Spray it, man.
Man, that's good cooking.
Yeah.
You want those people to fall in love with whatever that you were making. That's what barbecuing is about.
Yeah, man.
Like, dude, that sounds so good. Now I'm like, man, I need to go back to the lab now. You know, I need to go and drum up some other things, man. I've been working with alligator a lot here lately.
See, alligator's interesting. So I smoked my first alligator. Me and a good friend of mine, Brian. He's been on the podcast. He's one of the first podcasts. We smoked an alligator. Man, oh shit! It was during COVID.
Yeah.
Because everything was shut down. We got together, did that, and we ended up making a big, almost like we called it a mash. And because people were kind of off-put about alligator. You say, hey, I'm going to give you some alligator. Like, oh, it's fried gator? Says, nah, bro, we smoked it. And they're going to be like, I don't know about that. So what we did was we covered the whole thing in bacon, smoked it on Traeger for probably 6 hours, I believe. The thing about alligator is it's so lean. It's probably the leanest meat I've ever seen. Like, when you look at the nutrition facts, literally all it is protein.
Yes.
There's no fat in it. It's the only leaner meat on earth, I think, maybe turtle. You know, and it's so rich in protein, you have to wrap something around it to absorb it. And what we did was covered the whole thing in bacon, made like a mash in the belly. Like we took some rice dressing and mixed that with I diced up some pears and some apples.
Yeah.
And put that all inside the belly, tied it up, smoked it. And if you hadn't done this, try this. Smoked it, got done with it, sit down, laid it on the table, and pulled every piece of that meat off.
Yes,
and some of it I tried, and I was like, okay, if this is a little too gamey, we won't use this part of it.
Yeah.
Like the rib area was kind of a little gamey. But that whole back strap, and then everybody eats gator tail. They're talking about gator tail. Gator tail ain't that great, man. That back strap, and then the cheeks was the best part, in my opinion. The cheek, they had that. It was almost like a damn chicken breast.
Well, here's your thing with the tail. You know, it's not that flavorful. It's kind of like you making a Boston butt or just making a beef shoulder. You know, you're gonna have to get it shredded like yourself.
Yeah.
Add your own little signature sauce to it and make you some sliders out of it. Because just having it on its own, you're right. Yeah. It's very gamey. But man, that sounds delicious. Actually,
we smoked it, man. I don't know what you been doing gator lately.
So I do the exact same thing that you said, but I do not put nothing in his belly. I've never stuffed him yet.
Try it, bro.
Hey, Baby Slaughterhouse, I need a gator right now. So
and these people abroad probably like, what the hell are they talking about? They cooking alligator down there?
Yeah, man. Yeah, but it's our culture here. You know, we love eating, and we love eating what we have an abundance of. We have alligators everywhere. You know, so but I just pretty much I put them on a pit. I smoke the hell out of them. And I glaze them down for about 6 to 8 hours. Yeah. But I know that I cannot have it on the hot end. I put it on the slow end. Yeah. So I don't over dry it and do stuff like that. And then I just invite some fellas over and we just gonna pick them apart, baby. Well,
so are you more of your pellet grill? If you kind of moved to the pellet, or you still wood?
Don't say pellet, please.
See, okay, I hadn't touched pellet. We did the gator on a Traeger because we were doing a lot of stuff that day. And it was kind of low maintenance. Yeah. But I'm a wood fire guy, man, and even I'll start with a little bit of charcoal, just to get it going, and then I'm wood.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying, guys and girls, that pellets are bad. No. Just my preference is old school. I have my axe. I'm going outside. I'm building this fire, and I'm going to make magic happen. Yeah. Because on a pellet grill, I can go deer hunting. Right. I put some on. I say, okay, I know in 6 hours it'll be done. Yeah. There's no fun in that.
No, man, it's not like me staying up till 3 o'clock Tuesday morning putting damn wood on.
Every fire has its own character, man. Every fire has its own character because some fires burn hot, others burn too slow, and then if it's raining outside or cold out, you gotta adjust. So it's just you getting to know that fire. Like it's a simple, basic principles in life: fire, protection, food. Yep. That's all it is, bro. I love it, man.
Yeah, man. It's just exciting to be able to talk about that because that's the origination of what you have now. You know what I mean? Man. Yes. And it aligns with what I love, man. So it's awesome in a nutshell. It's like this whole old school barbecue mentality mixed with this amazing, product, and not only that, but what's in it that's helping people, which is awesome to me.
Well, I mean, it was kind of one of them things that when you capture, the old saying, capturing lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, to me, this is my lightning in the bottle. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like, and I know that in 10 years, I know I'll be to help 100,000 people easy, or 1 million more, because I know the bottles that I'm moving, the volume that I'm moving, because nobody would come back to something that's nasty. No. This is actually good.
Yeah.
So they keep coming back.
Well, that's like all that bullshit. Like, it's all that bullshit. Like, I try to be super healthy. I do a lot of barbecuing, but at the same time, I'm like more of a high protein, low carb guy. Mm. But you have all that shit, all those healthy protein bars and all this protein powder and these chips, gluten free and all. Man, it all tastes like shit.
Yeah, I mean, it does. And guess what? It's not natural. Mm-mm. Like, it's like they go into their lab, we're going to mix this compound with this compound. We're going to put this out. We're going to give this to you and say, oh, this is healthy protein. Well, the best, healthiest protein, as we all know, is natural protein. Yeah. There's going to be plants, meat, hardly any fat, straight to the point. Yeah. And your body can really go and break it down a hell of a lot faster than this in the lab made stuff, because, again, ingestion rates. Yeah. You're probably not going to ingest that protein bar the same way that you would do an all beef burger. Yeah. It's simple, but I like the unwich though. Yeah, have you had the unwich before? No. It's like hamburger without the bread. It's wrapped in lettuce and tomatoes.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Like, stuff like that. So if you are on a diet or you're doing the keto thing,
I do that stuff all the time. Yeah,
dude, I love it.
On lettuce bed or rabbit lettuce. Yeah, man.
And then you dip it in this, bro.
Yeah. Well, we got to get this on. We got to get this on Hot Ones, bro. Hot Ones, you don't know about Hot Ones?
No.
Bro, you gotta look it up on YouTube. So Hot Ones is this YouTube channel, and they have all these celebrities that go on there and they try different Kelvin versions of hot sauce until they get to the hottest one, and they try to like just have conversation the whole time trying to eat these hot wings.
Yeah.
We got to get this shit on there.
Well, the hot sauce is more of a less of imagine a spicier buffalo sauce. Yeah. Because see, here's the thing with that. I have to appeal to the broadest audience, right? Course, yeah. So if I'm too hot or I'm not hot enough, I'm not gonna.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They have different levels. They start with the lighter level, and then they move up to the really, really hot ones. It's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? But so what's your most popular product across the board right now?
Out of the hot sauce and the Nola Nights or New Orleans Nights spicy barbecue sauce. Okay. Like this one right here. This was the first one I ever made. Yeah. And by far, this is the winner, if you ask me. Okay. The hot sauce is right there, man. It's neck and neck with these, man. Because a lot of people didn't eat. I never knew that this many people ate hot sauce. I really didn't. Yeah. I got this guy. He emails me every other week. He puts hot sauce on his potato chips, on his popcorn.
He's on everything.
And I'm like, dude, what the hell are you doing? He's 12 bottles each rip. He's ordering cases by the case. He's a hot sauce fanatic, man. I said, dude, you're gonna piss out hot sauce. But those are my two popular ones. But also, I can't really be biased, man, because I love them all. Yeah. Because on the Bayou Glaze is more of the sweetness on the fruit side of things versus on the processed sugar side of things. Yeah. So it just depends on where you want to be at health wise. If you like sugar, you don't mind. You had a great freaking had a workout, and I can eat a little bit more sugar today. Go with Nola Nights. But if not, if you're trying to be health conscious, go with the Bayou Glaze. Yeah. It's not as much sugar, and there's more fruit in there. There's more fruit puree in this one. Okay. The other one is all sugar. Just straight up brown cane sugar, baby.
Keep it real.
Look, hey man, look. We all have to die, right? Yeah. I'm going to die full, baby. Like,
hey, my dad always said he going to die with a good taste in his mouth. He said, I work out, I do whatever, but I'm going to die with a good taste in my mouth.
Oh, yeah, man. Dude, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah. No, man, I think it's a great deal, man. I think that it's awesome that you're doing this. I think that it's something that's super niche market, and that you've already done all the homework. You know what it takes to create this, the chemistry of it. Mm-hmm. This hot sauce, the sodium is low. Everything's low in it. It's crazy. That's the big kicker about hot sauce is it's mainly mostly salt a lot of the time.
Yeah, see, this one right here is mainly like vinegar based with a lot of garlic in there. Yeah. Because as you know, garlic equates to taste better than salt does. Yeah. Like it just hit the palate so different, but it's not as like, oh man, this is salty. So, like, let's just say, for instance, if you want to have you a wing night, just try garlic and lemon on your wings only. And you're going to swear that you put some salt on there. You're going to swear, like, man, I know I seasoned these. No, you didn't. Yeah. You just used lemon and garlic. The most amazing wings I've ever had was made with lemon and garlic only.
Really?
Yeah, thanks to my wife, because I said, who would do that? She said, I said, man, these are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's how I got on there right there, man. I'm like, man, yeah, so just try that, bro. You got to try it, because salt is not good for us at all, as we all know. Yeah. Neither is processed sugar, neither is caffeine, neither is everything.
I mean, yeah,
everything's bad for us, right?
Yeah, if it ain't coming out the
everything's
ground.
Bad for us,
except
bro.
Cannabis.
Right. That's the only thing you can put water on. Consume it, baby.
Yeah. Well, look, man. No, I think it's great. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to meet you, man. Any final thoughts? For people who may just, it don't even matter if it's straight up in this industry, abroad. Just any advice you have?
Yes. Advice throughout life. Be humble. Prepare for the unexpected, and love everybody. That's my advice for life. But I also would like to say, thank God for the veterans of this great country that we live in. We might not agree on everything, but guess what? We love each other.
Yeah.
And we're going to be here until the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
So I would like to say to all the veterans, we love you. I love you. I've served with a lot of you. Keep your heads up. And if you're in a dark spot, reach out for help. There is a hotline for people who need help at the VA. Just Google it. And if you need anything from Pierre or Euphoria Eats, I can be reached at pdavis@euphoriaeatsco.com. Or if you need to order anything, it's going to be www.euphoriaeatsco.com. Okay. And, man, I'm just excited about everything. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about the next show. I'm excited about getting your behind up there. I'm excited about getting you into the cannabis business.
Hell yeah, dude.
Bro, it's gonna be beautiful.
I'm excited to come eat some of y'all's barbecue too.
Yes. Come. Guys, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, wherever. You have any questions, hit me up. I'm just an everyday guy. I'm just trying to make it, baby.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna mix this in with the batch of stuff I do for people, man. I'll wait till they get to feeling good. Like, man, I feel real chill today. I'm like, yeah, that's because we put this.
And these three are yours. Yeah. And these three are yours, man.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate it.
That's for you and the show. But the main thing is, if anybody is thinking about getting into the cannabis industry, reach out to me. I have a consulting firm as well, because again, I can walk you straight to the front door. Yeah. Because I had to do it the hard way.
There's a lot of red tape.
Oh, so much red tape. Yeah. So just hit me up, and we can get some business going, and we can get your stuff where my stuff is at. Seamless, endless, and it's great possibilities. Great benefits, y'all. Come on in.
Yeah, bro. Well, thanks so much for being on the podcast, man.
I appreciate it. I hope I didn't spill that.
We made it.
And I love the podcast. I'll be back whenever I'm invited.
All right, man. Everyone, please subscribe.
Oh, yeah.